So I think I was given way too much freedom making a movement shooter in real. Because I'm way too distracted. The code looks like my plans for the future. My PC, it's cooking a meal. The system's barely working. But hey, it's kind of funny, so it's understandable. Anyways, here's how it came to this.
As you can hear, I'm really sick. Anyway, this is the planning for the projects and the management for over time. This is how we got to the state we are now. I would basically make it to do well. I started off with the proposal, which is on my site and it's in the pitch section. We have the planning here, which was, I use Milanote for planning and then I just export the image to Trello. Sorry for the sniffling. I need to keep the scale like manageable, which I feel like I've managed to do. It hasn't gone too far. I'm nearly done with the project with a decent amount of time, I would say. My inspiration for the project, what I was using. A lot of this project was based off my previous project to then have stuff done for this project, so I could just go straight into getting it to work. So the modeling, which we'll talk about way later in this video. Yeah, pretty much this was the planning. This is what kept me managed. I need to work on a mantle, and I would basically sit here every couple of days, go back and go, okay, what's been done? The hook, probably not going to be done. Wall run's actually finished, so this is the finished section. Mantle was finished, damage, well, mantle was not finished, this is working on. But this was mainly what I was doing for planning, and yeah. So, in Unreal, there's so many things, but I got to cover jumping. It's not just this jump here. There has to be separate states for if you're wall running, if you're sliding, if you're in the air, do you want to ground plan, like there's different things you need to do, right? We got sliding and slamming, we got dashing, we got wall running. Like I said, it wouldn't be fun if, you know, we couldn't jump, create momentum. This is the main bit of a movement shooter, right? This is the bit that people come back to. The shooting is one thing. Obviously, a lot of games like Ultra Kill and Get to the Orange Door, you come for the shooting, but you're very much also here for this. So it had to feel good, which I hopefully made it feel good. I mean, it was good to me. Biased, it's my own game.
Hello?
Hey! So, back to what we were saying. Here we have the beginning. This is all the normal stuff, right? But what we're going to create is something similar to this, right? A short little hop. So if I... Okay, no. Right, we're going to create something similar to this where you jump in the air and press the shift key. It launches you forward, right? See? The difference is this is based on input. That one's based on look direction. If I look at my code here, the way it basically works is it stops your movement beforehand, launches the character. I use the left shift, it seems comfortable. Right. And then we want to, when you press this, you want the movement to stop. So stop. This is its own thing, character movement, it's linked to the character. A code set up then it's called gravity. It takes the gravity scale and then sets it to nothing on a delay. So we'll do a custom event. And then we want to take character movement, set gravity. So we want the 0, and then we're going to copy it. And we want a delay for how long the dash is, basically, because when the dash ends, you want the character to start falling again. You don't want them to just be stuck in the air. Basically, you press the button, right? You want the character to stop in the air, so any movement they had before stops. So it's here, stays. Then you want to push them forward with no gravity, so no grav, and then you want to apply that gravity, and you just. They will start sinking. Where you press shift key and you get to win the game because you could fly. No, so it has to have a cooldown, has to have certain limits. It makes more sense, right? So gravity scale 0. We'll do duration for, I have it as 0.2. It's a short delay, right? And then we want to put that here. Gravity. See? If I hold forward. You get the point. It's not rocket science. Then here you would add, like, for example, like the dash thing. So if I wanted to, you know, add an effect, like it zooms in and out, I would change it here. But for the purpose of just showing off what it does without effects. Now we want to branch because we need to detect if the player is moving or not. So we need to, I think it's get velocity length. Yeah, you want these two. This is get last input vector, and it's checking if it's used, basically. Actually, for this we won't need it because I'm not going to get into. We don't need to detect if the player's moving or not. The next thing would be to launch the character. Now, launch character gets used a lot in this. Launch character seems to be the most useful for what I want, which is moving the character on a command. So, you have the Y and Z. You want them to overwrite, because otherwise it's gonna. Instead of adding to the velocity, so we're not increasing it, we're just stopping it and making this the velocity. This is going to be what velocity the character is at when it's moving in the dash. A variable called dash speed. And let's keep that organized by how it's in its own category. We'll also do that with this. Anyway, right, so dash speed. We want to set this to... Right, we now want the first person to get forward vector. You get the forward vector, and then we're going to multiply. Yeah. Do dash speed 1,000. Right, so now when I'm in... Hello? Okay, it's just me being an idiot, as you can see. Why is it connected to that? I say organized and I look at my other project. Why am I like this? Yeah, okay, that's probably why, because half of this is disconnected. Because I am very good at problem solving. This is a test. I don't need to make this look good. I just, for ease of readability, for whoever gets to ever watch this, I hope you're enjoying this. Now, when I do this, I should. Why? It's not registering this input. Okay, well now it what? Why did debug? Right, so as you can see, moves the character. We have no... Yeah, see? It's a simple dash. It takes you where you want to go. And right now it is containing a bit of the momentum, because as you can see, if I stay still and do this... There we go. There's a simple dash. There's not much to it otherwise. I mean, let's add a cooldown, because a cooldown is important for everything. Aside from learning the mic quality is so bad it hurts, we need to add a cooldown. Now, a cooldown isn't anything special. It's pretty much the way I'm doing it. And to be honest, a lot of how I'm doing it is just adding a delay function with how long I want this cooldown to be. Also need to set an is dashing state. Make this editable, so when we're outside of the game, we can change this. We also need to, I need to copy it, because it's easier to just catalog, because they're going to be in the same bit. We'll call this cooldown. With question mark. Oh, and is dashing. Because when it comes to other things, they're going to need to know if you're dashing to whether or not they need to stop. So this is more proof setting up. So at the beginning of this, we'll do a simple is dashing. And then you want to do, because otherwise this all happens instantly. Probably want to put it at the end. I put it at the end of the gravity scale, because that is truly when you stop dashing. When this delay stops, because I could set this to like 20. You're going to notice I just keep flying. See? I lose momentum because there's no launch velocity, but I'm still technically in the dash thing. So we put it at the end of this because, well, when this is done, so is the dash. And this is a very quick dash, but you get the point. I'll put it down to, for the sake of this, like 150 and a half. And then look. See? Very slow dash. Very, very slow dash. Alright. So the cooldown is another event. You want custom events are very useful. If you're using Unreal, you're gonna use custom events if you're using Blueprint. But here we will do yes. And then we need to put at the start of this before anything happens. Oh yeah, left click and B makes you a branch. You can do this on things. It's very useful. Cooldown, and then we need delay. I want this on, let's say, a 1.2 second or 1.2 cooldown, right? This is just how long until I can do it again, because there's a balancing thing, and it falls into level design and stuff where you don't want players just going, I can't. I do hate Unreal bases, I'm sure always. Right, see? So now, see, you can just kind of fly if you set it too quickly, so it's not here. So now, see, I can't spam it. Which isn't useful in a... It's useful, it stops the player from dashing, but what it doesn't do is tell the player when they need it back. which is the point of the icons in the bottom right. And as I've discovered by making someone play it, you can't see those icons, so I need to redo them, is what actually needs to happen, because apparently no one noticed that those were there. That's just, I mean, there's a few more systems to it, because stuff has to happen, like pull down. I have it set so is the character falling, because in like other games like Ultra Kill here, you can just do it no matter what. They have it on a charge system though. I want it to be an ability that, like, if you needed extra air height, it's basically your double jump without giving you a double jump. It's a get out of jail card before all this, because even though this is important, if you're in the air, then you can do it. So like, it doesn't even matter. If you're not in the air, there's no point even trying any of this. Like, I mean, I could add to this. I could just add it to this. I mean, add. There you go. It's even better. Wait, no, I can't, because it's technically a different statement. There are ways to do that. I don't want to look like that Undertale image where it's just if, but yeah, ifs are good. If statements are really good. This, good. Right, so that is dashing. So let's cover over what we actually have here. We have checks, setting, action, draw, actions. And to be honest, this makes up most of the, like, movement abilities in this game. It's pretty... I don't know how they do it in this. I've tried looking up code for games like Ultra Kill and Get to the Orange Door. Risk of Rain was a heavy one for this because they seem to use a very similar system. It was my own approximation of how they did this. Because stamina, then you can't use it until there's a cooldown. You can use it where you want. It does certain action. Yeah, this was my approximation. I used a few tutorials. This is how dashing works. Oh. Right, let's do sliding, since this is just going to be how it is. Right, so let's do... This will be the slide. This is also going to affect the jump, because we're going to talk about the slam here as well. I'm just going to show you what the code looks like for it. This was dashing. Dashing is quite simple. This is a whole different... This is for different stuff. This is the effect system, just quickly. So it zooms in the camera, takes the FOV, zooms it out, back in. So when you go in game, you get that weird little effect. You see the screen kind of ripples. It's probably hard to see with all the lag. Like, you zoom out and then in. Yeah. So this is the slide code. This isn't the slide code. This is a whole different thing. I need that's for gun. That's not useful. Right. So this is the slide code. Up here is the slam bit. So we'll begin with this. So what you want to do is, in an Unreal Starter project, there should be input. So you make a new one. Slide. Not in caps. That's weird. IMC default. We have normal mappings, and we now have this new one, which is called IA slide. And if we press control, we have left control set, and it's fine and handy and dandy. And this bit just inherits this. So, oh yeah, because I forget there's technically a shoot bind. The way this works is we go from we use started and completed. Started is an event that literally it's when you press the button. Completed is when you let go of that button. Right? Set this as a boolean. So this is the same thing as the dashing, where it's just checking if it's in its own category. We want to set this here. We'll do another one. We need to check if we're falling. You can't be sliding in the air. Well, you can. There's games like Titanfall where you can certainly slide in the air. I mean, even in Ultra Kill, I'm pretty sure Han can, like, go off here and just suddenly decide, you know, I'm still sliding. It's still happening. I don't want that. I want sliding to be a thing where it's meant to go underneath stuff. You know, you want to use it to gain speed, to do a check on the speed to see if the character is moving. Greater. Get last input, because the way the slide works in my game, if I show it, the way the slide works is based on where your input is and where you're looking. So if I was to go forward and then to press S, which is backwards, and slide, you see I slide backwards. If I go forwards and do it, if I go right and do it, if I go left and do it. So it creates a situation where I can do stuff like this. And it takes the momentum you're using to, like, angle where it's going. Right, we go into the start input vector. We want to get the vector length, because we don't want to tell which one it is right now. We just want to know if it's being used. I want to know if a button's being pressed, basically. We want to set the player sliding. They now are definitely sliding. right? Like, it's no matter what. And now this makes sense, right? If you are sliding, then I want you to continue with the complete. If you're not, don't do anything. Because there are other ways to end the sliding. If I jump, for example, it ends the slide. Well, Unreal has this thing called crouch. Like, it's just a thing you can add. This code was quite buggy. I went down a rabbit hole, and eventually I found a mix of stuff from videos. Timeline. Okay, we need something called a timeline. So, right, timelines are interesting because they're not... I thought they were just used for, you know, timeline, like if you needed stuff to happen. They're not. They're specifically also used for, like, if you need a repeated tick for. So instead of using something, which is probably going to... This, which every frame of the game, the way... Basically, a way a game works is it has a tick every second, which runs this code. Like, if I press a button, then run that code in the same way of the tick. So that's why there's an till next tick, right? Let's just create, this is us creating a custom tick. It's not actually labeled, I don't think, because I'm lazy, but in here, we have this. This is it's a pattern, it will follow this for the tick. That's how much force I want it to apply when it is using it. And actually, before I forget, that needs to go in there. So we'll go new track, float vector. We will start this at add curve, set 0, 1, 5, and 0. And now we have this, and I can adjust this. So if I wanted to, I could add another one, use this one to get the in between, and then if we select all of them, there we go. It like most animation softwares, you can just set what type of thing it is. So we'll put this up higher because I want you to gain a lot of speed originally, and then just to drop. Right. So now we have this. We have no new track 1. Right, so we need to create another custom event called input key, the custom event. So we want to take this again. Right, so we need this to be checked. So this is going to check for us if there's another input, if the input's any different. One here, we need to set it. Same get last input vector. We're basically just getting the input we put in. If there's movement. If there's not movement, it won't add a key, right? It just won't add a key. It's just directly what direction, because the way an input vector works, it just tells you the direction in the game it's going to take you. To do something called add force. So let's add this. So, right. So we add this here. Then we need to if I take this and then you got to multiply this. So this is the tick rate basically. That's the number I have for this slide for the level I wanted it. We need get velocity. We need this. Actually, double check this. Yeah, it's an add. You're basically taking it's velocity we're taking. That's an input vector. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. Okay, so the way this is working, if I'm looking at this correctly, it's been a while. It basically is the velocity of the character plus the tick direction every second. And then you're just adding them together. I'm going to do this way. It's funny. Right, and then add force will understand it if we turn the input key against it, or if we add the input. We go add input. This is the direction, basically. This is speed. This is direction. And now if we multiply these together, then we add this here, and it should just continually go on forever. So, whoa, very laggy. See? So now, if I let go, it won't do anything, but I've still got that slidey motion if you look. See? It's kind of here. I'm missing something probably because I'm realizing this is very slow. Now let's add the finish bit. A few things we're going to need something called event tick for. It's the thing I showed earlier. We're going to put this all the way up here. We need actually the first one of these. We need a custom event. Slider. Yep. If it's sliding, it's true, and we ever start falling. So if basically we're just running this constantly to double check that it's a thing, like to check if we're not in the air again. There's going to be a new event called stop slide. I just don't know why I didn't insert that. So this will go here because this is also going to play. We want to get sliding, and we want to get sliding to set. We want to set it off, and we put this into stop. So this completely stops this from happening, right? We want this in here. We also want, if it's true, because it's obviously you're still sliding and you do let go of the button, then stop it. Otherwise, if this isn't true, by stop slide, which will stop it, when something happens. So if I go now down here and do stop slide, also another one, which is speed, because I wanted it set so if you're not going fast enough, why should you be sliding? It should just stop. Custom event. Speed, slide. Which, to be honest, the name's kind of confusing, but it makes sense. Just get velocity of the length. If it's less than that, then if it's true, one, just use the same one, right? And these two are going to be on the event tick. So we got speed, slide, and slide air. Speed, slide. Right, so. Just too high. You know, let me move I think I know what it is. I go walk. My walk speed's quite high because I didn't want to add the sprint button. That's just extra work for a guy pressing a button. You don't need that, in my opinion. I prefer when the game just lets you go. Yeah, see, walking speed's like half that here. And if I go over here, I don't actually know why it's slower. It's getting me kind of off guard. You get the point. This is a slide, you know? Okay. You can see it takes you, it slides you around. If you let go, it will stop. It looks a lot different because of the speed. I'm honestly trying to figure out what it is. I don't know. Because in here, you see, it's the same thing, just animation day, so you think it's different. I'm going to spend too much time looking for this when I can just say it does work. I have evidence of it working. I don't actually know why it's different. So we're just not going to stall on it. Slamming isn't that hard to do. It's actually really easy. We're going to add that. So if we are falling and press the button, we want to set something called slamming. We're going to create a custom event for this because it's easier to organize. To go up here, we want to set slamming instantly because we want this to happen, no delay. Right, we want to do once. Slam. I can't bother to do it on the clause. This will connect to this, but this will have stuff in between it, like. Okay, literally all it is like a slight delay. Because there's a certain effect we need to apply to the character, so we can do. Because when you slam, if I show it off here, but if you slam and then jump, you go higher, right? It's like you see this bridge up here. You could wall run up to it, and then you get shot this way, or like imagine the enemies here. Slide, shoot, jump, slam, up here, and I'm in this crevice now. Like it makes it so much better to get higher, like because I can do stuff like this, which I wouldn't have been able to if I didn't add this. So that's what this delay is. So it needs to be a pretty big delay. Without maybe doing whatever I'm doing. Alright, so 1.5 delay. Then you want to set slamming is done, right? You want to untick it. We're no longer slamming, but we now have this, right? Because we're basically doing a dash downwards. But this time I don't care if we contain momentum or not. Split this because it's easier to understand. I find it easier to understand. We only want to lock the Z ride because we want to change that instantly. You want a minus number. You don't want to, like, if I send, like, that's 3,000. If I start doing this now, I jump. See, it sends me upwards. Now, if I go up here, for example, I'll set the Z value to a higher thing, so, and do it. Nice that. See? There's no reset right now, so that's why it won't let me do it again. Right, so that's technically actually it for the slam code. This is all the slam does. Now it's applying this to the jump. So over here, because we need to just, there's a few things. We want event and land to stop jumping, because you're not jumping if you're, you know. And now when I land, technically, so, see, and now slam. But you see how that delay where I can't do it even if I'm spamming it? We need that because that's how you do the special effect, right? Character, you'll slam, right? You go down, you slam. You have to, then on the floor, right? You have to wait a period of time, then let them jump again. Like, you have to let this period of time is basically the holding point for the game to then say, well, you can do a jump right now if you want to get the extra height. But we're not going to let you slam in that time because, well, we don't want you just to keep slamming. So that's what that's doing, right? Do a branch. We want to check slamming because we're technically doing something different if we slam. If we are slamming, we want this false. We want to check if we're on the ground, which to be honest, the easiest way is another branch, which we'll do over here. If it's here, launch. If it's true, launch character, and we want to do the same thing as before, but basically the opposite. Because to be honest, you also need this to be controllable by the player, and then we'll set slam to done, because technically by here the slam is also being set done, so we're no longer slamming. And reset does the same, but on a delay. Now I can't jump. Okay, that thing is false. jump. Slamming is true. That is true. See? We get the slammer. You can keep spamming it. Like, I'm able to do it again. If I decrease the cooldown, I can do it a bit easier. We have a dash. We have a slide, which I don't know what the problem is, but we'll fix that. I'll fix it at some point. This all took me days to make, and now it's kind of weird just seeing it now. Now we're going to make the annoying part, which we're actually going to have to edit the level for. Not do. So, give me a sec. Let me give it a quick makeover. Okay, so this is what I use for testing. It's a simple little thing. Wall running, we're going to do a bit different. This is pretty much, let's add wall running. Now, the way wall running is in the actual game. So, on it, wall running has its own little section, its own like little function. This is I need to make another function in the other one, right? We'll start with the function. I will run through this, and then we'll go through the other stuff. So, that may sound completely different. I've been gone for however long. The other stuff. So the functions is a little silly thing over here that we can just add one, and we can call this wall run. And we need to create a few variables, if I'm looking at this correctly, because if we look here, wall run has a lot of variables, like a lot of variables. While you're watching this part of the video where we're talking about booleans and all that, I'm going to discuss the context of this and why I'm making this and what inspired me to make this. So, we have stuff like Doom, Ultra Kill, and Dusk, Marathon for its aesthetics and just visual appeal. We've got Rift Genesis for the combat, which is heavily inspired off of it, and which is also inspired off of other things you've seen like Ultra Kill. I've always wanted to make a movement shooter. It's something I've wanted to do, and I thought, why not use this time to make a good portfolio project where I can show off my skill. I now know Unreal. I now know Substance Painter. I have a decent understanding of Blender and all its functions. I like the aesthetic styles of Marathon, and I can create them in Substance Painter. I've made these posters, which I think came out really well, and people seem to like them. I can create all this, so why not compile it together and create this project with everything in? I have to show off everything in it. It's my creative portfolio. I like this. This is very much, the context is pretty much, I know I can make it. So let's get on and make it. I'm heavily inspired by, you see these solid colors, these rounded objects, these, look at it, it's great, and I want to incorporate that with the style of movement, which is my favorite style of gameplay. I love this type of gameplay. It's what I find fun. So the context is pretty much, I know what it is, I have a depth understanding of all this, I understand what's going on in all of this. I can create my own version of that. So why not? I can create it. Because in total, this is basically an augmented version of like a few people's code that I've looked at. If you want a wall run in this game, you have to look parallel to it and go along. And it just takes you across the wall. Simple as that. And it pushes, this one pushes you like mine does. So pairing the speed will do it. So you align the player to the wall, and you start the movement, and then you have to let them jump off the wall. Or if they take long enough and don't do anything, like I'm going to do here. Or just don't if you don't hold left, but it'll just slide you off it. See? Start here. We still got to do more of this, so. I forgot that there's an extra option we're going to do, which is going to be slide jump. Same as the other one, where if it's false, it'll go. But if you're sliding, that's true. Instead, what you want to do, I'm going to actually do it down here, is launch character. I get velocity. So you need the velocity of the player, because this is going to be based on how fast you're going. Then you need to vector length it. You need to divide it, because technically this number's too big to mix with other stuff. And we'll get a stupid amount of, like, jump. We'll do it by 8, because I have it as 4 in the other one, but as we have seen, this game is purposefully kind of slower. Input, so this is direction again. And we multiply, because that mixes the two together. You can't just add them. We're going to add V velocity separately, on the V, Z velocity separately. So you see this? See, we get the weird, like, jump. This is the normal jump for reference. Like, right. Now back to what this section's actually meant to be, which is the wall run. We now have all the variables. There's a lot of variables, because this is quite... First one is actually going to be the wall run delay, because, well, if the delay's on, why would we let you wall run? So, or boolean, we've got is dashing, we got is sliding, we got is slamming. You don't really want to do it if any of these are active. So we have false, and now we're doing is falling. Now these parts of the code, I won't lie, I do understand less of because I do understand. I've went through and read what they do, but I can't lie. This piece of code is slightly not mine. It's altered. I originally got it from a video and then just changed it to my needs. So, weirdly enough, I think this is right, this is left. It's kind of just checking to tell you that they're not already wall running. So if it's false, we need to align, trace. I'm going to copy this over here. Also, both of these, we need to get the actor location. Actor rotation. Make rotate. We're basically making our own. Yeah, we're just making a red thing, and then we need a. So this is basically how rotated the thing is going to be. I'm going to copy exact numbers in here because, to be honest, this has just been fine tuned. Vector, and that is pretty much the code for this. Just on the other side, I'm pretty sure we have to make one of these a negative. I'm actually going to macro this because this one. Can I macro it? Left to macro. Macro? Yes, we can. Okay. Let's add two inputs. Let's add rotation and distance. So rotation will go to you. Distance will go to you. So I'm actually going to add this into my own thing in a sec because it's way easier to understand. And it makes it easier to just sit. Because I bet when we come out of this. This is a macro. This just has. This lets you keep. See? Now it's a simple little thing I can just put down here. Copy this. Put it here. Do this. Just add it. Right, I'll show you what these do in a sec. Because I need to. Okay, so an event graph. You need event tick before all this because it's more important. You basically always want to run these by what's important. Let's put wall run. There you go. See, there's actually a reason they point backwards as well. It's so, when you attach to a wall, you see those red dots? Those are the things, right? So if I attach to a wall, even when I'm turning, you see how it gives me the most leeway on it? I can look around while being attached. But it's not far enough, so then if I do this, it disconnects me, and then the other one has to connect. If that makes sense. Yeah, I'm very much simplifying this. It's nothing crazy, I won't lie. It's pretty simple, but yeah, that's pretty much what this is. I could make these variables as well and then make them adjustable, but don't really need to. I have them already how I like them. Right, wall or not connected. That's detecting. So this whole bit, this little bit here is detected. Copy and paste it. Right, we need this. We need this. So then, if it's true, do something. If it's not true, stop. We need break hit result. Break hit result just tells you what the thing's hit, what it is. Sometimes it's good to just put them down, so then you can like put them in here and not have to stress about them not being there. So those are there. Those will always be there. Then we need to do a specific combo of stuff. I say. Here's jumping off wall. Since we're basically getting rid of gravity, we're making it so the character's not falling when it's attached to the wall. And then. Okay, so that's it for both sides. I just have to change what's what. Okay, so. Well, it attaches you, but what's actually happening is there's no gravity, so it's just taking wet. So if I went down, look. Oh. You see, it's there. You can see the properties of what's happening. So this is another one we need to add. Custom. That's it. That is just this done. Which, to be honest, let's compare the mess. This is the original one. And here's me going through it. Actually, like, organising it. So, improvement. And that wasn't too hard to do. Wall run delay is very simple. And which side of the wall we're on? This is to stop this. There was like I had a bug. Basically, you could just attach the other wall instantly, and I didn't want that. We need delay. Delay was 0.2, so that's fine. Copy it here, do this, do blah, blah, blah. And then taking whichever side of the wall we're on, and just, you know. But, right, so that's wall run delay, I think. It's dashing or sliding. So, sliding, dashing. And if it's false, we need to set the gravity cell. right? So basically, don't interrupt. This is always going to be running, because event tick's always running and always getting back false from the wall run code unless you're on a wall. This is basically just setting the gravity back. So we need you again. Set gravity. Put it back to, I think it's 2 on there, so it's 1 air. And then false, yeah. 0. That's just checking nothing went wrong. We need to do a slam reset because technically, if I go back to this, technically it's, you know, if you were in the middle of a slam or something, it could have caused issues. And here we go to the launch, because technically this is where the launch comes into play. You only want this to do it once, and the only time to reset is after we're off the wall. You need to connect this into here. We can try and make this look neat, but it's really hard to when you're doing this. And I wonder if I can just yoink the code, because to be honest, it's probably just the, yeah, it's the exact same as like some other ones. It's just slightly different for the wall to angle it based off of where you are. So now, if I'm not being stupid, we should have our weird wall run. Yeah, we do have it. It's just taking us too fast. Yeah, it is. See? We haven't added a jump off yet, but slow wall run, as ordered. Another piece of custom event. Wall run jump. If statement, because if statements are they just work. Like they just work. They may cause a lot of issues, to be honest, but for now, I've not got the time to like overly manage these. I've got time to make them work. I had to be manageable with what I had, so this is what we came to. Off wall. That needs to be set true, because that's what you do. This looks like a lot. It is a lot, but it's not a lot. It's actually, this is copy and everything. It's missing this. Yeah, it is. Let's unveil the curtains of what this does. So you're getting your rotation. So this is telling you if you're going left or if you're left or right, this is what it's going to take, right? It's making it a vector. It's getting a right vector. Then if it's the right or left, it takes this. It's then telling you which one, true or false, and it will select it based on if you're running to the right, and then it's launching you, like a normal jump, right? So this will launch the character in the direction they ask, depending on which. And if I now add a delay, is jumping off wall, so we need to get rid of it, obviously, because you have to, the main rule seems to be clear a variable once you're done with it. It looks more, you understand it better. I can jump. Very fast, but jump. I think it's the prop. Oh, if I set gravity to 2, maybe it'll look a bit better. Use the dash. Bit slow, but you get the premise. Slide, I really don't know where the slide. I will try and fix it. It's an example project, doesn't need to be fixed. Right, the way this rule one works, by the way, is it's where you're looking, which I prefer. I think it's cooler. It's got its own unique value. That is technically it for movement, but I do want to talk more on movement. You can see the numbers well. They are, I've just realized there's an error actually there. But they tell you how fast you're going, and you see how by chaining together movements, I can keep that speed. The base speed you can go in all forms is 130, 1,300 in walking, and sliding it goes up to 2,022, yeah, 2,200. And then when wall running, it depends on your speed, so that really can just be. Dashing gives you about like 500, I think. Let me see. Oh, it gives you about 2,000. Okay, my bad. That's really bad. But basically, as you just saw, the aim of the game is getting speed. You know, you want to gain speed, you want to find the objective. So, you want to find this. Oh, don't question the sound, I haven't fixed that. You want to gain speed, walk around, have fun. I want people to have fun while playing this, and I want people of all skill levels to be able to go, okay, I get it. Which, the icons at the bottom are not helping right now, because you can't see them. And you see, I use speed when I use dash, because I feel like it was too free just being able to go. So, you're actually slower doing this, and you only gain the height. That's the only advantage. Right. If I wanted to contain momentum, I'd probably slide hop into a wall run, and then let my go so free. So, if I wanted to get up there, for example, wall ran up this, did this, went up this, did this, and I'm up here. See? It's quick. But there's also alternative paths. This is what movement This is momentum, you know? I want to keep the momentum while I'm going places, so I don't lose the speed. We're doing a terrible job of showing that, but you get what I mean. Like, sliding underneath here to gain the speed to go here, then go over here because it's quicker, and jump up here, get speed off the wall, and now I'm up here. You know, momentum. I had a previous project which very much focused more on it, but this one, it's less on it. It's still the main focus.